Jimmy, I was hoping
I was jamming.
I saw Jimmy dancing down there. I'm like, he's got to keep dancing. He's got to keep dancing. Hello, everybody. I am happy to be back home. I am exhausted. I don't think I've kind of caught up from my 9-day vacation just yet, but we are here every Tuesday. I am joined by Julian, my co-host, and it's so funny because I had breakfast yesterday with Julian. It's kind of weird to say. Yeah. I did. I went to breakfast with Julian and Kayla and got to meet Julian's parents, which was fun. Dalton realized like halfway home that it was a present. I don't think he was awake at breakfast. Julian's parents brought some gifts for Dalton. And I am joined by OldSchoolFlips below me. He has been on before, Jimmy, and I have met Jimmy. I've met everybody in person on the panel tonight, which is awesome. And Richard has been on as well. You guys are probably more used to seeing Richard in the chat. He is one of the main ones that helps me to moderate. So I am going to make these guys big, let them introduce themselves. Richard just hit 1,000 subscribers on our last show. Yay, Richard. And their links to their channels are down in the description if you are not subscribed to them. So here is Jimmy.
What's up, everyone? Jimmy, OldSchoolFlips. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I've been messing with the TikTok and Instagram quite a bit lately, but I'm just now rolling back into some of my YouTube content. Full-time reseller, mainly on eBay. I've done some of that auction app a little bit, but I'm stepping back from that and focusing again mainly on eBay. Sell a lot of toys. As you can see, this is my collection that I eventually will resell, but for now I'm keeping it for me. And but I sell just about anything I can find that's worth a profit, and mainly on eBay, like I said.
Perfect. Here's Richard.
My name's Richard. I go by the name Flips. Do have a YouTube channel, and I want to thank everybody that was on last week on Kat's channel. Pushed me over 1,000 subscribers, so I appreciate that very much. And that's it.
All right. I'm not here. My camera's being wonky.
I did forget to mention I'm getting awfully close to 2K. It's
what? Oh yeah, you're not far from 2,000.
Huh?
Yeah, you should hit it tonight. I saw that. I forgot about that. So go ahead, Julian. You go first. Me and Julian both click things. Yeah, we'll start with the dolphin here. Mutton Ridge Finds.
Start with
the dolphin.
Got to.
Joined the YouTube membership. So thank you so much. And here is your dolphin.
Welcome to the flipping family.
And next Monday is eBay Store live reviews. So now would be a good time for the channel membership because the first Monday of every month we do member store reviews. All right, I'm going to put this question up for Miss Edelin. We can talk about it a little bit, but I think this is a very expansive question that would take hours to truly get into. But she's asking if we would review the process of how and the type of shipping used. So I guess maybe we could just say like what we're using the most, like maybe as far as a supply and the type of like what carrier we use for that.
So you're asking like the carrier, and I'm not sure exactly what
I think she's asking everything, if I'm understanding correctly. So I don't know how much we can really sum it up, being able to answer shortly.
For me, I use flat rate shipping as far as my pricing. I've been doing it long enough to where I have a good idea what the costs are going to be. Sometimes I'll lose a couple dollars, sometimes I'll win a couple dollars, if you want to call it that. I mainly use USPS for small because I ship a lot of small stuff. But I will use FedEx Ground and UPS for the bigger stuff. Again, all through eBay. Every once in a while, I'll use Pirate Ship for some of the stuff that goes over 2 pounds. That's smaller, but that's in this flat rate. And I just have like my own little cheat sheet that I have. I weigh something real quick, and then I'll put in the price for shipping.
As far as me, I mostly ship most of the stuff through USPS. Heavier stuff, I'll ship either UPS or FedEx. But one tip I want to basically say is when determining your shipping, if you go in and you sell an item, go in and do your shipping label. And if you look, it gives you many different options as far as what shipping. So you might have thought that you were going to shipping it one way, but you might find out it's actually cheaper to use a regional box or things like that.
I do all calculated shipping, or mostly like 98% calculated, like probably 2% free shipping. Anything under like 16 ounces is going to go first class for me. Anything over a pound is going to go usually priority. Bigger boxes are going to go FedEx, UPS. And then all the long boxes now I have been switching over to. We had a chat. I was in Jimmy's chat. You were there.
Yeah.
OBX, and we were all talking about which one would be better, UPS or FedEx to do your long boxes. I don't have an answer for that. I've like switched half and half just to see what happens, to be honest with you, because their prices are about the same. So I did switch over 450 different golf clubs, I think, in the last 2 days to that.
I was going to say it might come down to what's more convenient as far as geographically, if there's a UPS or FedEx closer to you.
We have a store.
Yeah, we have a
ours
store
is like
too.
UPS, FedEx combined.
Right.
Normally for me, UPS tends to be like a few dollars cheaper. Almost always. Yeah. As far as shipping, like for me, with shipping a big variety of things, I go from first class up to UPS and FedEx. And I use priority mail for probably 95%. And I set mine at calculated shipping because I have a lot of heavier breakables, and that shipping ranges from $9 in Florida to 18 to 20 in California. So that would be a pretty big loss if I were to do flat rate. I know I have a like eBay shipping video breaking everything down. I don't know if anybody else has like shipping videos, like kind of tutorial.
I have an old one. I have a very old one.
Yeah, mine is a little bit older too. I might need to, especially with the new dimensions, I might need to kind of make an update to that. So hopefully that helped a little bit, but shipping is so expansive, and just the variety of things you can ship and what you sell, it's a big subject, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, here is Duncan. Duncan was not here last week, or he was, but he wasn't asking questions. And he said Richard was in the chat asking for them early. So Duncan wants an eBay reselling tip each, which he this is Duncan's question every week. But he's saying his is to find a target audience and build a niche.
My answer is like there's a lot of negativity that is out there as far as reselling, and because there are negative things that happen. You just got to learn to deal with them the best you can and try to ignore it and just roll through it. And a lot of the stuff you can handle on the back end. Like, don't worry about stuff until it happens. I mean, it's going to happen. Just try to get through without paying too much attention to a lot of them, because you're going to hear about it on social media. That's the main thing I'm saying. You're going to hear a lot about it on social media. Just try to put that stuff in the back of your head and push through and start and list and sell through it is what I recommend doing.
I'd say my biggest tip would be that, especially for new resellers, understand the shipping. That's probably the most difficult things for a lot of new resellers, is understanding the shipping, and they're afraid of that. But don't be afraid to make mistakes and just jump in and do it. And especially with USPS changing their shipping on the long boxes and over a cubic foot. So you really need to get a handle on that and understand what's going on with that.
Yeah.
I always say start in your house, sell stuff you already have so you don't have to go out and buy new stuff. And then just jump in. Just list a couple items of your own stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because Duncan saying build a niche is completely the opposite of my business model. So I say find what works for you. I wouldn't specifically follow any one person. I would take pieces of people for what fits your lifestyle and what you're finding, because I don't niche down because I can't find enough of any one type of thing. I probably lately could find enough linens. I could like just be a linen seller. But I like selling other stuff. So definitely know the shipping. Richard's right. I recommend calculated shipping for beginners, and Julian's right too. And I think not just for new sellers, guys. I sold a few things from my house recently I wasn't using and made quite a bit of money from stuff that was sitting there not used. So I think us seasoned resellers should go through our closets and our kitchen occasionally and get rid of some stuff. All right, here's Duncan again. eBay item specifics. It seems many sellers are not doing them because they were told not to. Won't it hurt their chances of more sales? And he's saying lots of specifics are just wrong.
I mean, I've heard it. It can. I don't fill them all out. I fill out as many of them as I can and roll with it. My sales are good, so I don't have an issue with it. But I do take the time to fill out the ones I know, and I can. Sometimes I'm not going to measure the height, weight of every single thing. Like you'll say height and width and weight, and I don't do that on every single item. But like I saw a lot of toys and action figures have a ton. Like you'll say for those toy people, they'll say, what Transformer faction is it with? Well, not the only Transformers have a Transformer faction, so like some of it's just pointless. So I do as much as I can. That's all I can do, I guess, right?
Yeah.
As far as me, I look them up and do sell similar. If I find some of the specifics aren't there, because now eBay's starting to require a lot more specifics when you're listing, and you might actually sell similar and they didn't have all those. You got to fill all those in. It does help if you fill those in, if somebody's specifically looking for an item, but that takes a lot of time, and I don't do a lot of that. If I'm doing a listing and I know it right off the hand, I'll go ahead and fill some of that stuff out.
I only fill out what is required. Like golf clubs just changed over that you have to put the handness in there, so right hand or left hand or whatever. That's different. But other than that, I really don't fill out anything that is not required. And I will tell you this, that you're right. It says a lot of them are wrong. If you do sell similar, especially in golf clubs, 95% of the time, if you sell similar, there's something in that specific that is wrong. It's either like
make sure you at least check it.
You got to check
and go and remove them.
Yes,
remove
that's
them.
what I do. I go and delete them because they are completely wrong. The lie is wrong, or something's wrong with that. But it's the same club. So if you are selling similar, just a little tip: go in there and just look through it real fast. Doesn't take a lot of time, but I just delete them if it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't fill out a ton, but I will tell you with collectibles, I tend to fill out if it's vintage. They have like vintage yes or no, because I feel like people will filter by that. So vintage is one I fill out. If it's a signed item, I will fill out signed yes or no. Those are two of my big ones. I do the requirements and then like the country of manufacture with collectibles too. So like if it's from Italy or France or Sweden, I will fill that out. So I fill out the ones that I feel like people will filter by the most on the recommended. And then I don't try and fill everything out at all. And I don't think it hurts sales, but I think you need to figure out what you're like the size. If you're selling clothes, somebody very well might sort by size large, like brand size and color, I would say on clothing are the main ones, but think of what you're selling and think if you were buying that, what would you sort by? And I will sort by size. I'll click on like large or extra large or whatever size I'm looking for. So I think it's smart to think of the ones that people will use to sort that.
Just like toys. There's one where you have to select new in package or out of package or no package. Stuff like this. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, go ahead.
Everything's different.
Yeah, because all the categories are going to be different depending on what's there. Miss CC, Fab Flip Lady, do you feel it's important to cover return shipping? And I'm going to assume she means like seller pay for return shipping.
I do, but it's for I feel like it improves my ranking in the search results, not so much as. So if that's my answer on it, I feel like it does help boost you in the search rankings. And I don't have enough returns to worry about it. Knock on. So I mean, I have them, but they don't overwhelm me by any means. So I feel like it is.
As far as me, no, I don't do. I offer basically 30-day returns, but I don't do free shipping. But occasionally, I will refund the shipping if it's on an item that maybe I listed incorrectly, or there was something I missed in the listing, like it had a blemish or had something wrong with it. I'll then go ahead and as a seller, it's my fault, so I'll go ahead then and refund them. But that doesn't happen too often.
I do all shipping, like free returns. So, and I really don't get that many. And to be honest with you, the ones that I do get is usually my fault. I've done something like I listed a tool the other day, and I listed the size different for a combination wrench. Like it was just, and I listed it wrong. And I was like, I just refunded the money anyway because it wasn't that expensive. But no, I do all free shipping back to me.
Yeah, and I do it for the discount. And I actually have 7 friggin' returns open right now. It was like return season last week, and I'm like, ah! So I have a lot, and normally I do not have a lot. But you get, I think, 10% off final value fees on some of the fees. So for me, it offsets it, and I actually end up making more having the free 30-day returns on because I get that discount and the shipping for me.
Yeah.
And I agree with Jimmy. I do think it probably boosts you up in the search results on eBay too. The algorithm likes people giving free returns. Duncan wants to know, when should someone stop listing if they have hundreds listed and they're getting no sales? He said he saw someone with 5,000 listed and only a couple of sales. Do you think they should stop listing?
Yeah, they should stop listing and reevaluate their store and see if they're pricing wrong. See if they need to improve their pictures. I mean, if you do it right, stuff is selling on eBay. For me, I mean, stuff sells. I average 7 to 8 out the door every single day on average. So if you're that far and you're having trouble in sales, then you need to reevaluate. A lot of times it's pricing. You have to be good at looking at prices, what they've sold for, and what your competition looks like. You can't just look at sold. You got to look at your competition too. So stuff like that would probably be the main thing to look at, is reevaluate your pricing before you keep listing.
I agree with Jimmy. Basically, if you've got 5,000 listed and you're not getting any sales, you've got a problem. Either your pictures are bad, your pricing's bad, something's bad. Even if bad pictures, if you got the pricing right, you'll still make sales. So yeah, I think they need to stop, reevaluate the store, and see what's going wrong.
Yeah, 5,000's a ton. That's a lot. That's a lot of listings. So if you've amassed 5,000, you're listing daily, and you have that many, and to get 5,000, that's like got to be some sort of like, I'm thinking like media or something, because that's just a big number. So maybe like everybody's sending in media mail, and you have a priority.
Yeah,
something's wrong there. So I'm with Jimmy. It's definitely everybody else that something needs to be reevaluated. There's something.
Yeah, unless they like transferred over, Duncan, and it was like 5,000 new listings that just got up. I actually had somebody message me today about like they're buying their sister's store, so their number listed is gonna jump way up because they're gonna copy all of the listings from their sister's store. But I would say, it's either titles, prices, shipping cost, the price. Something is wrong there. Or another option is that seller might have canceled too many and might be below standard, and all of their listings are getting pushed to the bottom. So I have evaluated several eBay stores that everything looked perfect and they were making no sales, and come to find out with talking to them that they were below standard, which means eBay was pushing everything they listed all the way to the bottom. So that might be another thing that you're not going to see on the front end. You would have to ask that seller, like, did you cancel too many sales, or were you shipping late? And that there might be something else going on there. I'm going to grab this one real quick because it's pretty clear cut. Margaret wants to know, how do you mark down items? I do not have a store. I've been just changing the price. The only way you can do a markdown is with a store. So Margaret, you would need to have a store to run an actual sale where they see it was this price and now it's this price. Otherwise, you'll just have to keep doing what you're doing and marking them down manually. All right, Duncan's last question, even though he's over his 3 limit, but I'm giving him 4 since he wasn't here last week. What are your 2 best recent sales?
One of them is definitely, I just recently picked up a center tail light for a 280 ZX, a Datsun 280 ZX OEM.
That's neat.
And it was the only one listed when I listed. I picked it up for $12 at the Thrift, and it sold within 5 hours of listing it for $300.
That's good.
That was, and I probably could have got more. It was one of those things that I was like, there's nothing out there on it. Like, and I had multiple offers. I finally, because I listed it at $400, I finally took the $300 offer. And the other one, what would be? I don't know what my next one would be. Oh, I just sold a. This is a bolo from. Everybody loves that term bolo, right? I just sold a How to Train Your Dragon toy, a dragon. It was like a skeleton dragon. That was part of a collection that I bought, like 15 dragons for $25, and that dragon sold for $110 plus shipping. That's my 2 most recent really good sales.
That's pretty good.
I'd say for me, I had some China sale. It was Bristol Blue Poland. I basically broke them apart into sets, individual sets, where it had the plate, the bowl, the cups, all that stuff.
A place setting.
Yes. And the buyer came in and bought all 4 sets, and the buyer was all in for $254.
Nice.
So that was pretty good. And then the most recent was I had Pokemon cards, the trainer boxes. I bought those like last summer. Somebody came in and bought those, but apparently it was a kid using his dad's account. And so the dad came in and canceled the account, canceled it. I didn't realize it didn't automatically get relisted. Those things were sitting down in my eBay store, and I looked at those and I said, those things should have already sold. So I pulled them up and looked. They weren't listed. So I listed them. They sold in 24 hours. I sold those for what did I sell those for? 216. Basically, it was retail arbitrage, and not a big sale, but it was actually sold very quickly.
Heck yeah. Pokemon is hot.
Recently, I sold like a Microsoft Office thing I got for 99 cents or $1.99. Sold it almost instantaneously for like $95. And then the coolest thing that was most recent that also sold was I'm looking at it now. It's a Lansdowne Model 17, like little camper. It was like this little camper thing. Like, yeah, I got a little picture. It sold for $65 and it was damaged.
That's cool.
Got it for 99 cents at Goodwill. Caleb picked it up.
Awesome.
I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, I sold a Harley Davidson vintage pocket watch. I did pay $100, but it sold for $454 this week. I got that on a high bid auction, and then I also sold a Roseville vase that I paid $5 for over $200 this week. So those 2 are probably my best. I sold a couple other Harley watches for $100 each too. So I got all of my Harley stuff from the high bid auction, and I've been listing it. I sold a pen today for $50 too that I paid $2 for. So my daughter is working through. There are 531 pens, and I think we're up to like 100. She listed 150 while I was on vacation. Wow. So she's moving through them pretty decent. And I told her today, I'm like, if you want to switch, because honestly, I'm getting tired of like making the drafts live. I'm like, okay, I'm over Harley pens. And I'm like, if you want to switch to something and come back, she's like, no, they're easy, Mom. I'm like, okay. So we're going to keep rolling through the Harley pens. Richard is gone.
Those things in your dreams, huh? Start having nightmares about Harley.
But like it's so hard. Like the one sold for $50, but the majority of them are like $10 to $15, you know. But I can't not research them because as soon as I don't research one, that's going to be the one worth $50.
Yep.
This question is for Richard, and Richard disappeared. I'm going to put it here while there.
I'm back. Sorry, I had to adjust my contact. I had a problem.
Just poke your eye. Jeremy wants to know how many more watch hours you need of 4,000. So for those of you that don't know, in order to get monetized on YouTube, where we get paid for Google running ads, you need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So Jeremy's asking Richard how many more he needs.
A lot. About 2,000.
Halfway there.
You're halfway there, though.
Yeah.
The first 4,000 are the hardest to get. They are so hard to get. But after that, they'll roll.
Everybody put Richard on replay.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was first getting monetized, that's what I would do at work for people that were like, because all of us were getting monetized like at the same time. So I would like put playlists up on like different computers at work and let it just keep going and going to get them the watch hours they need. Raining Retro, North Carolina. Have you tried selling at flea markets?
I have not. I've sourced there, but I have not tried selling there. No, I don't have enough stuff to do that.
No, I don't. I'm strictly eBay. I don't even cross post or anything like that. So I'm strictly eBay.
No, I haven't.
I have not either. And for me, it's a time thing. Like I'm so busy otherwise. I don't have time to sit all day Saturday and all day Sunday and hope that I make sales. I have thought about, because Tommy, who comes and works and helps me sometimes, he's lost a lot of his clients during the pandemic and said, like, we're his only client now. So I thought about like getting stuff together and having Tommy go there and pay him to do it, or like split the profits. I don't know why I just twirled. That's kind of in my head. I'm thinking about it with all, like when I start buying a lot more auction lots, or if I go through some of these piles here, if I think I have enough, I might see if Tommy would be interested in going like maybe Saturday or Sunday and, you know, splitting it, or I'll pay him something. So I'm thinking about it. But here, when it's warm, the flea market is dead. Our flea market is really driven by snowbirds. So the winter and early spring, it's still really good right now, but soon as it starts getting a little warmer, it's gonna die down. So eeny, meeny, miny. And like Tommy has a little car, so I would have to almost get like a permanent booth, you know, that I could lock the stuff up in, and like I would go set it up and he would just have to go there. So, but I am thinking about it. Ricochet Vintage Finds, and Richard actually just talked about this. When listing and shipping complete valuable china sets, do you list by place settings or per item, like the placer bowls with a quantity available of each?
I'm going to pass this question to you.
I saw that coming, Jimmy.
It depends. If I have like a complete set, then I'll break them into individual one setting and list it that way. I won't list the entire set because packing that was a nightmare. When I had to pack up that one, I was like, oh my goodness. Usually if it's not complete, I'll list maybe like 4 plates together, 4 bowls, list the teacup and saucer together. That's usually how I do it.
I'm going to walk right by that and then go look at something totally different. So I'm probably never going to be in that predicament.
Yeah, I agree with Richard. I do not want to sell that whole set because I don't want to pack that whole set. I do really the same as Richard. Like I typically will list like 4 plates, 4 bowls, like the same type of item. I have a couple times done like Richard said, where I sell them as place setting, like a dinner plate, a salad plate, a bowl. But if they're high dollar, like my Wedgwood St. Austell I sold, each plate was worth $50. They got listed individually. So if you have a really, really high replacement value, I would list every single piece individually and put the quantity you have. The reason I put like 4 plates or cups together is because they're like worth maybe $10 to $15 each. And I would rather have a $40 to $50 sale than a $10 one. And 4 plates to pack up is not hard. But again, so they're going to pay. They can buy the whole set for me, but they're going to buy every individual piece and they're going to pay for it and for me packing all of that. Vicky is asking, if you sell similar, do you leave the postage as is?
I do not, because I list on my phone and it automatically goes to calculated. And like I said, I do flat rate, so I have to go in there and manually change it with every single listing. So I myself do not. But I know if you don't go in there, if you're doing calculating, you don't mess with the weight and dimensions, you're asking for trouble. So you should be in there messing with it. I'm sure these people that do calculator are going to tell you that. So
Yeah, I do calculated, and a lot of times their estimates are way over. And that's just going to hurt sales, even though they sold the item. But for me to sell it a lot quicker, I want to make sure I get it pretty precise as what it's going to cost to ship an item with the packing, the box, and everything like that.
Yeah, you definitely want to go. That's another thing. Look at the item specifics, and then also the postage, because a lot of times that's also wrong for some reason. Like a lot of times it also deletes itself, that you have to go in and put something for me for some reason. Like I have to go in and look at it. So, but always 100% of the time go in there and look at it.
Yeah, and eBay will estimate it. And like with me doing the drafts, because my listers are leaving it. So like today, one of my like Harley pens was at 2 to 3 pounds. That's a 2-ounce pen. So if I would have ignored that and left it, it would have been like $16 on a 2-ounce pen shipping. So I would never leave it the same. You need to look and see, because either eBay's generating like the average for that item category, or the person before you might have had that weight wrong. I don't know if it really copies their weight. I'm not sure on that.
yeah.
Actually,
Hi, Sonia.
Hey, there's my wife.
Deborah has a question for me. I have 5 calorie shell baskets to sell. I'm wondering what keyword you use. So I had a calorie shell basket that sold for over 200. Mine was made in the Marshall Islands, and I knew that just from information I had. So that is why mine sold so high. I used woven. I used cowrie shells. Mine was a long, like 13-inch round one. So I used serving basket. I would try and use Google Lens and see if you can maybe identify where it was made, and that might help you get a higher price. And if it's vintage or new. So if you don't have a history, mine came from a high bid auction. So I was lucky to get some information from the estate that it came from. So if you don't have that, it might be a little hard to get that high. All right, Miss Amy has a question. Would you accept a $150 offer from a buyer with 0 feedback, but eBay member since 2020? The offer is really good, but the 0 feedback makes me nervous. So let's see now. You're talking to 4 different people, what we would do.
100% I would.
Yeah, I would do it. I was nervous at first when I first started selling, but now a lot of times, a lot of new people are actually getting on the online platforms and buying stuff. So, yeah, you got to take that into account as well.
100%.
And I will tell you, a lot of times, maybe not in this situation because they've been a user since 2020. A lot of times 0 feedback is people checking out as guests. And they might have it, like I have 3,800 feedback, but if I buy my husband something and I don't want him to know what I'm buying, I will check out as guest. So I'll show some generic name with 0 feedback. So keep that in mind too, but I 100% would accept the offer as well. Tip of the mint flips, Mr. Drew, $4.99 super chat says reselling is usually a hobby turned job. What hobby would you love to do professionally if you could? I know Julian's answer.
100%.
Hobby? Oh man. I talk about sports.
There you go.
Put me on in front of a microphone.
He'll be a new sportscaster.
Yes.
That's cool.
Definitely.
For me, it's basically, I enjoy doing Christmas lights, but it's not traditional Christmas lights. I do like LEDs with music and things like that. Kind of pushed it off when I started reselling, but I want to kind of get back into it. I actually enjoy doing that as well.
Dude, I'm going to hire you to come customize my yard, man. Come on. You can do it for a living.
You can do it for a living. Your first customer's right there. Oh, my hands down would be fishing. I would definitely fish for a living.
Nice.
Yeah. I like, I think I'm doing my hobby turn job, and I love it.
I was gonna say it's a close second.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
pretty good.
like, I love it. I've been thinking about, and I'm crazy, and Brad's like, oh no, here we go again. I've been thinking about starting like making pottery. Like, I want to get a kiln. I think I would like love, and he's like, I know what you do. I do nothing little. If you know me at all, I do nothing little. He's like, I'm like, I'm just gonna get a little one. He's like, just buy a big one. Like, I know you're gonna do it anyway. And I'm like, no, I've been thinking about doing
Just
that.
do it, Kat. Just do it.
Just to take a break, it's like something relaxing now that reselling is my job. And I wouldn't be able to do it that often. I think I would just need a little. So when his shed comes, his woodworking shed, he will clear off the carport of all of his tools and stuff. And then I might be able to like set a kiln up out there because kilns are hot. So it's not going to go in my house. And our carport is on concrete. So yeah, we'll see. I've been thinking about it, but there's also like no fire clay. There's no fire clay. I got to research. I'm going to get some books. I got to research it. Yeah. Cheryl's asking if I got to meet up with Jocelyn and Dagny. I did not, unfortunately. Me and Dale were like, go, go, go. So I messaged Jocelyn and Dagny. I was like, I'm going to be here. But they weren't there when I was there. And I was only there for 3 full days. So I really didn't have a ton of time. And Dale and I like shop till we drop those 3 days. And one day we actually spent for Mom mainly going to like quilt fabric stores, because the whole reason I went up north was for my mom to go to the quilt show. That was like the whole basis of that whole trip. And then the quilt show was a disappointment to my mom. It was really small. So we took like the whole next day to take my mom, and we went to like fabric shops and stuff like that for her. So I unfortunately did not get to see them, but I love going to Pennsylvania. So I'm sure I will be back in there again at some point. Probably before the end of the year, if I had to guess, probably before the end of the year. Jeremy is going Duncan style, asking food questions. What's your favorite breakfast cereal?
I don't eat a lot of cereal. My wife actually picks on me because I don't like cereal that much, but it's Life cereal. Jimmy likes it.
I'm the same. I don't eat cereal. One thing I eat in the morning is I get just crack an egg. Basically, you put an egg in it. It's got like the ham, cheese, and all that stuff. You just mix it up, throw it in the microwave.
Oh, the one that you like just add the egg to it. I know what.
Yeah, it's called just crack an egg. So
it's like a little cup. Cereal. You buy the cup. And then you just add an egg to it.
Yeah, but I don't need cereal. No.
I don't eat cereal either because it's super bad for you. It's full of sugars. But I do have a favorite, and it's going to be Reese Puffs. Man, put a little milk in there. Whew, I'm telling you. I used to love that stuff.
So this is funny. I don't eat cereal either, guys. I guess we're non-cereal eating people. I have never liked cereal, and I do not eat cereal at all. I do not have a favorite because I don't like any of them. That is funny that like all of us said that. It's kind of funny.
My wife has nothing but sugar-filled kids cereal on her shelf that she eats, and I'm like,
I do not like it. I can't stand cereal. Brad likes cereal too, and Dalton. Dom, I put Dom's comment up here because tomorrow night I am in the top 8. This has been like years-long process of his thrift battles, and I am in like the final 2 rounds. I think we have, well, maybe there's 2 more rounds. I'm in the top 8, so I am live tomorrow night on Dom's channel in the thrift battle. So you guys have to make sure and come and watch the thrift battle tomorrow night. And I think I'm going to unload my car and pick most of my things from like stuff I thrifted in Myrtle Beach, Pennsylvania, I think is my idea of what I will present on the thrift battle tomorrow. So make sure you guys come. Miss Kathy Wilson sent a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, did I forget Drew's dolphin? I did. I'm going to give 2 dolphins. I forgot Drew's dolphin. All right. I'm going to give 1 for Drew and 1 for Kathy.
Super chat. Super chat.
see everybody asking Dom about mellow yellow. I like mellow yellow. I have to behave. I'm trying to go back on my diet. I've been off of it and I gained like 10 pounds back. Everybody's like, "Oh, you look so good." I'm like, "No, it's coming back," which I had lost over 30 pounds. So I've gained a third of it back. Hi, Kayla. Kayla, this is Julian's wife, you guys. She is over on Instagram if you want to give her a follow. Had breakfast with her yesterday morning too, which was lovely. Shalbert wants to know, what is the minimum and maximum time for YouTube videos?
I haven't figured that out. I have no idea. I'll do anywhere from a 8-minute video to a 25-minute video. Usually is where I fall into that when I do a video.
I'm about the same. Usually mine's averaging about 10 minutes. Sometime like I did one today and it's like 20 minutes. So yeah, it just depends on what kind of content you have and things like that.
I stay between 9 and 13 minutes usually. I did just drop one because it's huge. It's crazy the amount of stuff I got, and that was split up into 4 different videos. Not that specific one, but the big haul was, I think, not even something that large where I acquired so much stuff was still only 18 minutes.
And I want to say you can do shorts, which are 20 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And like this show is about a 2-hour video because it's up for replay. My average is about 30 minutes on my videos that I do. So mine are 30 minutes. But there are continuous channels that are live 24 hours a day. So I don't think there's really a limit. Like I have some favorite ones I watch of like Under the Ocean that are 24 hours a day. They're broadcasting live. So I think you need to figure out for you and your audience what their kind of like attention span is and try and stay at that and see like when people are dropping off. I started at like 18 to 20 and now I'm like, I push it to 30 sometimes. It really, really depends. This is a good question, Patricia. How do you account for your time? Seems like I'm always working eBay.
I myself don't. I just stay busy. Like when I was a mechanic before this, and I was never the fastest mechanic, but I was a good mechanic because I always stayed busy. So that kind of just carried on into what I do when I do this. Do I take breaks and time off? Yeah, but I just stay busy and get it done. I don't really keep track of the time I have spent into it because part of it, we all know there's a lot of this that I enjoy. There's a lot of stuff that I do for YouTube and eBay that I really enjoy, and I lose the time 100% when I'm doing that. So yeah. I don't really keep track of it.
As far as me, I do this part-time, so no, I don't keep track of time. I do things when I want to do them. Other than shipping has to go out. So I don't keep track of time.
Yeah, I don't either, and I think it's because most of what Jimmy said, because when I, like that haul, that Saturday that we went out and got all that stuff, I came home and could not wait to go through it all. I was like, I don't know what I just bought, and I got like truckloads of stuff, and I worked probably 5, 6, 7 hours after we actually initially bought it, and it felt like it was 30 minutes because I was like pulling stuff out and I was excited. So really, if I actually looked at what I worked, it's probably a lot more than I say. And I say that I work a lot. I probably work triple that amount.
Yeah.
But most of it is I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I don't really either, like everybody said, like shipping I have to do and everything else. I don't keep track, but this is my full-time job is eBay and YouTube now. Yeah. So like that's what pays me. So I will make myself take a break out like Sunday in Myrtle Beach, we did no sourcing. We went to Ripley's Aquarium in Myrtle Beach, and that's all we did the whole day. Yeah. So we just went and had fun. So I'm trying to make myself take at least one day out of the week from doing it, because otherwise I'll be doing it all the time because I like it. It's not like I'm like, oh man, I have to, like, I love it. I have a couple of boxes that came while I was gone from auction, and I don't even remember what I bought. So I have to go through those tomorrow. And I love making videos and sharing stuff. So to me, it doesn't feel like work, even though it does, it takes a lot of time.
I almost feel like it becomes. Oh, sorry. I just want to say it almost becomes like where you gotta check your calendar. Like, let me just make sure I don't have anything going on. If you're gonna do like plan something big, that's about it. Other than that, like I gotta make sure I don't have anything going on before I commit. But other than that, I'm good. And I
yeah, for sure. And I mean, like that's me too. Like, I have a lot of lives coming up, guys. A lot. We were talking about it backstage before we went live. I am tomorrow night on Dom's channel, and then I am not going to say Thursday. Thursday I will be live somewhere as well, because I haven't cemented that one in. And then I have my members live Monday. I'm live with Katie and Tay on Sunday. So I'm going to be like all over the place this week. And that's not normal for me. I don't go and do a lot of other shows anymore just because I'm pressed for time. But it just so happens they're all in like a week. I'm going to be like all over the place. I know Mark said I'm breaking up, so I might pull myself out for a minute and put my internet on a different setting here. Marie Connors for Julian. Do you know if we can Frankenbox the UPS tubes? I'm assuming they mean USPS for larger golf clubs.
UPS does have tubes too.
Oh, do they?
Mm-hmm. I think if you have an account, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. If you have an account, you can get them. I think you can get them, you can buy them, but I think they still give them to you for free. I bought all my boxes though, but I'm pretty sure the UPS does have those tubes because I've seen them in people's stacks. That's the only way I know. And then I did hear people talk about it, and I'm pretty sure that you can't get those. I don't know if you can manipulate them though. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no. I didn't even know they existed. I just found out right now. Thanks, Julian.
No, well, hold on. I might be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things, but I did see, because somebody did say that, and I was like, really? And yeah, if you have an account with UPS, they do have tubes, and it looks just like a USPS tube. It just says UPS on it.
That is interesting.
That's a good question right here.
Yeah, this is a very good question. Does anybody know the answer to this very good question? Does anybody know if the long board games will have a surcharge?
I'm going to pass this question to Richard.
If it's over 22 inches, yes. Based upon the USPS rules, anything over 22 inches is going to get hit with the surcharge.
How long is that box?
I have that box in the other room. I could go in and see.
I don't ever use it.
Me neither, because it's such a weird shaped box. It's super long.
Yeah.
That might be over 22 inches. So I would think that was not. Was there a clause in there if it was a flat rate box that it had a different amount to it?
Look at Reigning Retro coming up with the great question that none of us know the answer to.
But you know what? I actually, when I first started reselling, I got my account with USPS, and they said, well, get some of these boxes, get some of these. I got those boxes. I never even used them. I actually tried to take them to the post office and give them back to them. They said, no, we don't want them.
Yeah, I have some. I need to do that too, that I ordered like years ago, and I never ever use them, like certain flat rate boxes. So, and I don't, if it's not flat rate, well, he says it's a flat rate. I bet if it's a flat rate, it won't have a surcharge. That's my thought on it.
I would imagine not, but again, I don't know. The real question is,
did anybody hear me, or did I?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, you guys all spun for me, and I'm like,
I can go get the box. Hold on.
Here's the real question: how old are your game board boxes? Mine are about 3 years old. I've had them for about 3 years.
Julian's going to get the box to measure it.
That's about how old mine are.
I don't have any of them.
About 2.5 years.
It was when I was a new seller. I was like, oh, I got to get those. And they're sitting in the corner over there still.
Carolyn Cusack, what would you do if you won an online auction? Here's my thing, and I don't know if you guys can watch the bottom end of the chat if Carolyn's still in here. if she means like an online auction on eBay or if she means like a high bid auction. And she's saying they've ghosted her and said they won't respond to calls or emails. I'm going to assume it's a high bid auction because you can't really call or email if it's a eBay one. So like if you won an auction and now they're ghosting you, what would you do?
Man, that's a tough. I actually had a really bad nightmare scenario. I won a in-person online auction about 2 years ago. They told me I won it, and then later on, I was literally going to get the U-Haul to pick up like a ton of stuff for a really good price, and they called me up and said that you actually didn't win. Someone mistyped their bid, and we're going to give it to them.
Is Jimmy frozen?
Am I?
No.
So
He's frozen on my end.
well,
I might have to switch back.
All I would recommend is the power of social media and the power of online, like maybe a Google review. I mean, I don't know if there's any other options. Google review would definitely be something I would do. See if they reach out to you then, because they rely on stuff like that. Businesses like that rely on a good word of mouth. If you feel like they've done you wrong, it can go a long way. If you leave a message, they might reach out to you because they saw you left a message. Other than that, I really don't know, guys. Because that's what I did, by the way. That's what I did.
I do a lot of high bid auctions and stuff like that. I've never had that happen. But if something were to happen like that, because I use a separate account just for the business, I just go to the bank and just basically cancel the charge. And as far as that, if it was something that I really wanted, it's just part of doing business. I'd move on.
They have your money.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is if like you cannot actually like say it's across country or something, you can't actually like roll up where they were supposed to be on the online auction, because that's would be if it's in a four state area and I was gonna have it shipped, I would then go there. I would then take a day and I would drive there because you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my money back. But real quick, I would definitely just go to because I use a credit card on all transactions like that. I do not use a debit card. I always use credit card. I would go to the bank and say, this was fraudulent. I bought something. They did not send me my stuff. Now I have no contact with them. And then I would just do it that way. Because your main thing is just to get your money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my main question is, did you pay them? And because a lot of high bid auctions will automatically run your card.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my thing. And I would also double check and make sure they said they offered shipping. There are some auctions that say they do not offer shipping. And if you buy it and do not pick it up, that you forfeit the merchandise. And I would hate for it to be that situation. And if it is that, they're going to win the chargeback and you're going to lose your money because you didn't read. So hopefully that's not the scenario, but there are quite a few high bid auctions that do not ship, and they will tell you, they will still take your money because they don't know if you're going to be there to pick up. And if you don't pick up, you lose it. So hopefully that's not the situation. If you haven't paid, I would just let it go and never do business with them again. If you have paid and you make sure you read that they had shipping available, and some of them you have to call. I've ran into that lately. Like they don't automatically set you up for shipping. You have to call the pickup day and tell them you want it shipped for them to bring it to UPS store. So again, hopefully none of that came into play. I had two like that lately where they don't automatically, I had to call them and be like, I want you to take this to the UPS store. And otherwise they would not have. Okay. So did Carolyn say if she paid or not, or anything else about the situation? Not yet. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it's none of those. Guys, when you're buying on high bid, especially if it's not locally, make sure they offer shipping. And if they do, read what you have to do to make that happen. Some of them automatically will bill you, ship it without you doing anything at all. And then other ones you have to take some of them you have to call the UPS store and tell the UPS store to go pick your stuff up. Wow. So you really need to read those conditions on the shipping. And watch and see if Carolyn says anything. That way we can kind of know. Reselling says, I've had this problem 3 times now. Is anyone else having where they sell an item on eBay and it immediately says the shipment is overdue? They're assuming it's a glitch. Have any of us noticed that?
I've never seen that, no.
I haven't seen it, no.
I haven't seen that, but didn't somebody else say that on here, Kat?
Somebody did. I don't remember.
remember
It was
who.
a question, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Here,
Mhm.
Mark says I'm too dark. Am I better, Mark? I have multiple lights. I'm tired, guys. I am so exhausted. If you can't tell, I'm so tired. Like this vacation, like kicked my butt. Yeah, I haven't had it happen, but I think somebody else asked this before, so I think it probably is happening.
Mhm.
Miss Cheryl, Shiny Squirrel, has anyone ever had? I'm going to assume this is a buyer. Had a buyer stop communicating after you made a special bundle for them? I think I had a buyer ask for a bundle knowing I'd have to deactivate each item to make the bundle, and then they ghosted her.
I've had to do that before. I've never had someone ghost me though. I've always had them end up buying the bundle. It's just kind of hard because on eBay you can't send a link through the messenger, so you can't just be like, here's the link to the listing. You have to try to direct them to the listing, tell them to copy and paste it or whatever. So I've never not have someone actually buy it. I've always been able to navigate them to the listing and then they buy it.
As far as me, when I was first starting off reselling, I would try to accommodate the buyer and do stuff like that. Now, if I've got it listed and if they're interested in multiple things and want to bundle it, I'll say, go ahead and buy it. And I'll basically, give you a discount on all the items and on the shipping.
Right.
But I won't stop listings anymore.
Yeah, I did that one time and it did mess it up. I deactivated, I think, like 4 or 5 items. I then screenshotted my new listing, sent it to them in a picture, said, here it is. And they never got to it. Well, it got sold to somebody else. It was a super good deal. And I was like, well, I didn't want that to happen. So, yeah, I don't do that anymore. Now I do what Richard says. If someone's like, hey, I want this, this, and this, I say, that's fine. Go ahead and buy it. I'll send you an invoice for shipping. And, and then I can refund you like $5 or something like that. I have a verbal thing. I can do all that on the back end, but I very rarely do that nowadays.
Yeah, and I mean, on eBay, I would just tell them to buy the stuff. Carolyn, I would just let it go. I hate to say that. Sorry, and then I'll answer the question about the bundle. I would let it go, and I would mark them off of your list of who you're going to buy from. Yeah. You could try and call them again. My Harley one took me 3 weeks to get it, and I had to keep calling the UPS store so my stuff was there. And I think because I bought so much, they didn't want to deal with it. And I called, they're like, we'll do it tomorrow. I called 3 days later. They're like, no, we haven't done it yet. It took like 3 or 4 phone calls to get them to actually ship my stuff. So I would maybe make one more attempt at calling them. And as long as they didn't get your money, I wouldn't buy from them again, would be my advice on that. Yeah. And then as far as the bundles, I would not like, the only platforms that I could see that you have to do the bundling thing would be not even Poshmark. Poshmark lets people bundle. Facebook Marketplace or Mercari. And that situation, I have made them and people bought them. But on Facebook or Poshmark, do not do that. They can just buy them and send you offers, or you can tell them, I'll give you a refund or whatever. I wouldn't do it on those. The only ones that you have to do it would be Facebook and Mercari, because they have no bundling option for people to combine shipping. And I would say most people aren't going to ghost you like that. I feel like that's probably like a minority of time. So if it's one of those 2 platforms, I would say I would still do it. But on eBay and Poshmark, I would not. Caroline wants to know, do any of you use shipping policies? She knows that I do not. And she said you can't offer choices when you have policies, and she's afraid that's going to cost her.
I do not, but when I worked for because I used to sell online on eBay for a company we did, we set up multiple different shipping policies. It worked out for that company because the volume and the type of stuff we were selling. But for me, I have no need for it.
For me, somehow my shipping policies got set But as far as she's saying you can't offer choices with the policies, well, with policies, you can have multiple different shipping options, whether it's you want to offer like standard shipping, or you want to offer priority or local pickup. So you can do that with shipping policies.
Okay.
I don't think I don't do them. I don't think it just seems like it would be a lot. I feel like I would mess up more.
I feel I've heard too much negative, like that's why I don't do them. So, and she already said she knows I don't do them. Miss Corey wants to know how to organize her death pile. So go ahead and we'll give some tips. And then I've got another suggestion as well.
List it and get it in your listed inventory. No, I'm just joking. I just have a table. I just keep everything. I don't like it on the ground, so I have everything up on a table that I keep. And that's the most to my organization. I don't keep it that organized.
As far as me, sadly to say, I do have a very large debt pile. It actually is taking over a room. I have shelves in there, and I've been going through there and randomly pulling items. I would say to organize it, try to put similar items together, like the dishes, things, similar items put together. And then when you get listing, it's a lot easier to list a lot of similar items all at the same time when you're taking photos and then listing and looking up and things like that.
Yeah, actually, I just did this because we just bought a ton of stuff on Saturday, and we were out of room, slap out of room. So we now have a couple of storage units instead of just one. And Kayla, we went and got a whole bunch of shelving, and we just kind of, what he just said, we kind of put stuff in. I have a climate controlled and a not climate controlled. That's how much stuff I have. And some stuff has to be climate controlled. Everything that not, we put in the non-climate controlled, except for high-end stuff, because that's a little bit more protected in the climate control, because you'd go through two doors instead of just being out there with one lock. So, but yeah, get some sort of organization down with that where you can see what you have. But seriously, in my eyes, because me and Kayla went over this, I'm going to go in and just grab 20 items or 30 items at a time. And if they're like items, because I only list like items daily, like all golf clubs or all shoes or something like that, because it makes it go faster for me. That's how I would put it in the death pile, like organization, like all this and all this and all this. So I can go and just grab 30 items and then go clean them and list them.
So I did mine the opposite. I put them in banker's boxes so I could not see them, because what I would do would grab what I like, which would keep leaving the same stuff in the pile. So that way I grab a banker's box. I list everything that's in the banker's box, regardless of what it is. So I did not want to see it. So I used banker's boxes, plus like a banker's box size is really manageable. It's probably 10 to 20 items on average, unless it's really small items or big, it could be less. So it's a really manageable, like, okay, let me grab this box. I'm going to list everything in this box and put it back. And I was going to say our Death Pile Destruction group on Facebook has tons of suggestions and support. So if you're not in our Facebook group, Death Pile Destruction, it's specifically for that. I made it just for that. Like, it's a support group for those of us buying too much and have too much in our death pile. So definitely check that out if you haven't. Julian, I don't know if you saw Miss Anita's question in the chat and answered it. She said, did you really say 240 golf clubs in the past 2 days?
Yeah, that was only though going through and switching them over to like a certain shipping. Right. Because it was all USPS, and I had to change the size because I didn't put the right size the same when I listed them. So yeah, I had to go back and switch. It was way more than I think I did. It was well in like the $400, $500, $600 maybe. I mean, golf clubs. It was a lot.
Yeah,
it's been a lot.
Samantha wants to know, what do you do to avoid amassing those large death piles?
Something that I do, So I guess I should have said this in the first question. I actually, if it's something that can be listed very easily, so I buy a lot of toys that are new in the package and electronics. I try to look for that stuff. So if it's something that can be listed fast, it goes to the front of the line. Like, and I'll get it listed right away. It doesn't make it to my death pile. My death pile is stuff that needs cleaning or testing or anything like that, or it needs to be counted or whatever, like game pieces or whatever. That's my death pile. If it's something that can be listed fast, put it to the front of the line, list it, and you can list it like that, right? So that's the main thing I do to keep my death pile from growing out of control.
I'm probably the worst person to ask that question to. I've got a massive debt pile, but I have tapered down my buying. So I'm only buying stuff that I can actually list. And I usually only go sourcing about like maybe 2, very seldom 3 times a week. And what I do get, I do make sure I can list it right away. I'm very picky now about what I actually source, because I do have a large debt pile.
Yeah, because I never used to have one. I never, right, Kat? You knew that I never had one. And how I function like that is whatever I would pick up, and really YouTube has to blame with the reason why I have such a big death pile now. But the reason why, so I would buy something, but I wouldn't go buy anything else until all that was listed. Because, if it took me a day, that means I get to go source tomorrow. If it took me 3 weeks, that means that, because I did a huge tool haul at the very beginning when I started all this, it took me a month. I didn't buy anything for a whole month because I had literally thousands of tools that I just purchased. So that's what it was. It took discipline. And then I got hooked on like buying stuff and all that stuff. Now I got storage units full of stuff, but and also buy stuff you're going to list. Like, I know that I don't like to sell certain items and like to list certain items. And I will, even though it's a good deal, and you're like, man, I can make $20 on this, but you're never going to make that $20 if you're never going to list it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't think like having some of a death pile is not necessarily a bad thing. Like we all saw that during the shutdown. Like those of us that had death piles were fine, while other people who counted on thrift stores were scrambling to get inventory. You don't buy as much. It's as simple as that. And like, I have 2 people listing for me now, and I actually have 2 more that I'm hiring. So I will have 4 listers. I'm going to wait because I have my nurse flipper camp coming up a week from Friday, the first one. So I've got to really focus on that and getting my presentations in line and organizing that event. So I think I'm going to tell both of them they have to wait until after camp. So for me, at some point, it's going to switch to, oh crap, I have to buy more, because I'm going to have 4 people that are listing for me, which that would be great for me. I don't think I will have a problem with finding more. And I do want to say, guys, speaking of my camp, I had somebody have an emergency come up, and I have a top bunk for a female available in the mansion, and Orlando's been sold out over a month now. It is on my Big Cartel site. It is in the Moana room. It's a really cute Moana themed bunk room. And it's $700 for the room, the food, the classes, everything. So if anybody, female, anybody wants that top bunk, it is listed back on my Big Cartel site, because somebody had a last minute emergency and had to cancel. So there's 1 room in the mansion back up. I just want to say hi to Kenneth. I haven't seen Kenneth in here before. He's watching over on Facebook. And he said the reason that he's reselling is he received a kidney transplant 2 years ago, and it's helping him with the copays for the meds. And he's in Maine. I don't think I've had that many people in Maine watching me that I know of. That's a new state for me. I think all of us kind of have these little, reasons, and like helping with copays and meds is a great incentive, to want to sell more and list more. And it can definitely be lucrative to resell on eBay. And like, I know Jimmy does it actually 3 of the 4 of us up here are doing it full time. So it is our primary income up here. We're trying to get Richard, but Richard hasn't jumped yet. Shalbert Vintage, a death pile, I'm sure somebody in the chat answered, but a death pile is simply items you have purchased that you have not listed. Some people do not like calling it that. I personally like calling it that, but some people do not. Yeah, so Diana's saying, a reminder, IRS tax filing dates coming up. So people are having to pay taxes right now. So sales might be down. My sales for the week are good. But for the last 3 days, they're less than half of average. So mine are down right now, but we had a $10,000 week last week. So, you know, when I look at the month, I'm fine. I'm fine. But I can't, that's the thing. You can't concentrate. Like if I just looked at those 3 days, I'd like be like the sky is falling, you know, because I'm not thinking enough. But reclaimed eclectic. What do you do with restricted item? I have a vintage 60s bottles of Chanel No. 5, and I keep hearing horror stories about selling Chanel, and I have an old quinine bottle. So if you got stuff you were worried about Vero, what would you do with it?
I mean, I most of the time I just move on from it. I'm not even messing with that. Like I learned about Whirlpool the hard way, and I'll just move on from it. Maybe try to, if it's worth a lot, maybe put it on Facebook. But
Facebook's rough on name brands, though. Facebook's stricter than eBay for
so
like the like Coach and stuff. Facebook's rough.
Like even on like local marketplace, they've changed that much. I don't know.
I couldn't, like, I got a ton of Vera Bradley, like, I mean, a couple of years ago, and Facebook wouldn't let me put them local. Like, even Vera Bradley, it's like any branded thing, they kept kicking it out.
Yeah, I myself would move on. I have in the past went to list it, found out that it's something I can't list, and I just counted it as a loss.
Yeah, as far as me is, I've been hit with a couple of B-rolls before, so yeah, if it's something I can't list, I don't list on other platforms. More than likely, if one of my friends doesn't need that particular item, it'll get donated back to the thrift store, and I just have to make sure I don't buy that item again.
Yeah, if it was something like that, because I actually watched a couple YouTube channels on the Chanel thing, I probably wouldn't list it on the internet. I might do like a local pickup if on Facebook Marketplace if it allowed it, if it kicked it out.
You could maybe do Craigslist.
Yeah, or if it's worth like a lot of money, like a lot of money, I'd go to a pawn shop. I'd be like, hey,
yeah, or maybe a consignment shop too.
Or a consignment
shop might work.
Something like that if it's worth the time to do that. But if not, I am moving on.
Yeah, and I would try and find somewhere else. Like I don't sell on Mercari anymore, but maybe like Etsy or something like that. I would see if other people were doing it there, maybe. Carrie has a question, and this I feel like this might vary for the four of us. What should an effective eBay item description include? Should I highlight key features of the product, include my shipping product policy, tell customers to look through other items for sale? So what do we think an eBay item description should include?
It's as little as possible. No, mine is copy and paste I literally copy and paste the title and the condition, and that's all my description has.
As far as my description, I do the same thing. I'll copy the title, post it in the description, unless there's some defects, and then I might actually point those out in the description. But now it's getting to the point I've actually had some returns because they didn't read the description. So I'm actually putting more stuff up in the title to say, see description, or maybe it like, I think I sold a phone and it didn't have the charger, the power cable. So cordless phone, I put that up in the title itself. So yeah. Other than that, no, I don't put too much in the description.
Yeah, in the title, I put read a lot if it's something that's damaged or has a flaw, or like especially with golf clubs that need grips. I even put need grips, read title, and in the title it says see title. No, I'm just kidding. It says needs grip or something. I do the faults basically in the description, and that's really about it. I don't really describe anything about it.
And I do not do descriptions at all because, as Richard just said, people do not read them. I only put something if there is a flaw, and I have been putting it in bold. Like all of my Harley pins, none of them have backs, like the pin backs. So I just have it where I'm copy and pasting, back not included, please see photo for condition of pin. And I just paste it into single one. And if they have no flaw, my title is copied into my description and that's it. I don't think it's worth the time to do it. $10 super chat from Dom Primetime Treasure. I'm going to give him his dolphin so I don't forget. I'm tired tonight and I'm not on my game. So Dom, here's your dolphin and then I will read it.
Super chat.
All right, now Julian has to watch for Duncan's answer because Duncan's not on the panel. We need to know why Duncan does not like the color green. And Dom said, great guest as always. Guys, again, tomorrow night, I'm going to be live on the Thrift Battle on his channel. So that hopefully I am on my game tomorrow because if not, it might be a bad night for me. Definitely not on it tonight. Has Duncan answered us? Do we know why?
Not yet.
Hi, Leroy.
Leroy, what's up?
Hey, Leroy.
Miss Vicky, being a newbie, I'm curious if I should be marking items can be returned. If I put no, eBay says it will cover it for 30 days.
So I'm curious if I should, you can select no returns. Are you saying, or should you type it in? I would never type either or in there. In the description.
I'm wondering if she means like, should she allow free returns or returns buyer paid shipping or something?
I did from the very beginning. It's just kind of up to you if you feel like taking that on. At the end of the day, we all know if the buyer really wants to return it, you're accepting that return. So I feel like I could go on a long story, but I feel like it gives you a little bit of ammunition where if for some reason they were just trying to if someone's just trying to talk you into giving them a partial refund and really didn't want to return it, free returns actually gives you a little ammunition there where you can say, I offer free returns. If you would like to return it, I'll give you a refund. I would say 1 out of 10, they never return it. They were fishing for a partial refund. So it does give you that little bit of ammunition. But I've always said, like, the majority of buyers on eBay are good buyers.
I agree with that.
If you broke down percentages of false returns and people fishing for partial refunds, that percentage would be so low of sellers that are that way. Buyers. Most buyers are great. So I could go on for a long time about that, but that's just, I myself would do it. Yeah. Sorry. That was a long answer.
It's a good answer.
I do offer 30-day returns. I don't do free shipping. The thing with eBay is they're going to make you take a return if a buyer opens up a case. So you might as well go ahead and offer 30-day returns. I don't get that many returns, but obviously it does happen. That's it.
Yeah, kind of like mimic what they just said. Definitely. It's up to you, but I did right off the bat, and I did free, and it wasn't like I got so many returns. That percentage is very low. I know there's a lot of and it might hit you right off the bat. Like you might, for some reason, when I started, I got a bad return. The guy's trying to scam me and stuff. So I was like, but it was right off the bat, and so I was a little nervous about it. But no, overall, you don't get that many returns. And I also agree 100% that it gives you an ammunition for partial refunds. I love that now is that I have free returns. So if they're like, it doesn't work properly or something's wrong, all my answer is I got free returns, send it back. I like that. But yeah, me too. Because before I would then give them a partial refund. I would be like, oh, okay, well, how's $10? And they would, oh, it's excellent. And now I don't deal with that. I got free returns. Yeah. I want it back.
Yeah, and I think unless it's your fault, having a policy that you do not do partial refunds is the best thing to do. Now, if it's your fault and there was a flaw and they send a picture, then yes. But if they're claiming something, then I would make them send it back. But if it's something I can obviously see, like, man, how did I not see that? At that point, I would give them a little bit, but otherwise I'm going to ask them to return it. And as Jimmy said, the savvy people know how to make you take a return, whether you say you will or not. So in my opinion, I think everybody should just turn it on because if somebody really wants to get you to take one, they're going to make it where you're forced to take one. So you might as well. Duncan wants to stay blue. So Duncan told me that Dom knows. Duncan sent me a private message and said Dom knows why. That's all he would say. He doesn't want to turn green. He doesn't want to join the membership. That's what Duncan is saying. Rescue and resell. I've noticed a lot of aged inventory suddenly moving. I put out a poll and many agreed. I'm not complaining, but with all the changes, it seems like there's a motive behind it. So have you guys noticed a lot of older inventory moving?
Yes, actually I have. I sold a hat today that I've had forever. I definitely have. One of the items I've had on the shelf probably over 2 years sold like this last week. So I definitely have noticed that. Yep.
Yeah, I've noticed it too. In the last probably week and a half, seems like a lot of my older listings seem to be selling, where before a lot of the newer listings, a lot of them would sell pretty quickly, and then you get some older ones, things like that. But yeah, something's weird that a lot of older listings are starting to move. Not complaining.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just flipped to like the last 30, and I would say I know a lot of these. 3 of these I know I've had over a year.
Yep.
Yeah, and I have, but I thought it was me I'm sending higher percents off trying to get the old inventory out. So I don't know if it's me doing that or if something else is going on. I don't see what motive anybody would have to make our older inventory sell except to get money. In that case, they would want all of our inventory to sell. So I don't feel like that's the case. Junk Monkey wants to know, is one of my 7 returns a Harley Davidson watch? So I actually, the only cheap Harley Davidson watch I got, and by that I mean worth under $100, was one new in the box, made in China, unbranded. And that one, and I'm wondering if Junk Monkey bought it, and that's why this question. But the battery wasn't working, so they brought it to get the battery replaced, and it was corroded. And I actually just offered him a full refund and told him I don't want the watch back. Like there's no point in me taking it back. I just gave him a refund, which I would have had no way to know because it was new, never taken out of the box. But if it was stored in a non-climate controlled, like Julian was saying, like if it was stored somewhere with humidity, then that could have explained that. So whoever bought that Harley watch is not on my return list. And I have gotten it into my head, stuff like this, like there's no reason for me to like be a difficult seller to them when that's it's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. I couldn't have known it was never taken out of the box, but why am I going to make them go through the trouble of sending it back when I'm not going to sell it again? Now, if it was a branded watch, that somebody might have used to display, then I probably would have made them send it back. But it was a Harley watch from China, and I refunded them back. So that is not in my returns because I just gave them all of their money back and told them to do whatever they wanted with the watch. And now you have to tell me if you're the one that bought that watch and I refunded them. Pame says, what is the best way to move old items? I just want them gone.
All my old items are on discounts. Like Kat said, and I'll up the discount. You can end and relist if you want. I think a good discount is just as effective. So if you have a store, just raise the discount. And then twice a year I have a yard sale. So that's another way. I'll pull it from my inventory and I'll throw it in the yard sale. But if you're looking to move it on eBay, just lower that percent. Raise that percentage off.
Yeah.
As far as me, I just run a sale across the board, all inventory. I have actually thought about running sale for older inventory, like over a year. You can actually do that. If you have a store, you can actually, anything over a year old, you can actually do a certain percentage off, and then you can do based on all of that. But I haven't done that. I just run a sale across the board.
Yeah, if you just want to gone, I don't know how yard sales are in your area, but in my area and a lot of other areas, they're very popular. And like, if you just want stuff out of your house and if you want like $1 for it, $2, you just want it out of there. Maybe it was in lots and you're already in the good and that's all going to be profit. yard sales, people get wiped out in yard sales, man. Like an hour and like that stuff is all bought up. So
and
prices
it's
are good.
crazy. It's crazy. I'm like 7 miles from like a big road. And when I was doing pallets, I was doing regular yard sales because there was a lot of stuff I didn't want to list. And I made like $1,700 in a weekend in the middle of nowhere doing a yard sale. I just like, it's the same thing as the flea market. Like, I don't want to be made to like have to be in one place for like the whole day because I'm always like go. But yeah, the yard sale, and like I said, I send really high % off offers to watchers. I have only been sending my offers on the computer so I can see the listed date. You can look at the date it was listed, and then I send higher % off because if I've got somebody watching it, that's my opportunity to give them a really great deal to make them want to buy it and get it gone. For sure.
Somebody had a really good, and I do this also with tool lots, junk drawer auctions. I do that a lot in like medium flat rate or flat rate boxes. If I have a whole bunch of rusty tools or stuff that I just am not going to sell individually, I'll throw it all in there, take a couple pictures, junk drawer, put it up for $5 plus shipping, and whatever it is, it is.
Yeah, I do the same thing with toys.
Yeah,
I'll make a lot of toys that haven't been moving. Big old lot of toys. Here you go.
Yep, super good idea.
Wholesale lot, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it, it sells.
Whatever you want it to be, it is. Christina saying buyer paid shipping, label was cheaper even though I didn't change anything. What happens to the difference? Because in my limited experience, eBay has kept that money. Jimmy, do you want to field this? Do you want me to answer this?
eBay has kept the money. You get that money, right? Go ahead, Kat.
You do. So Christine, you get a discount for the label. So you get a 30% discount from eBay if you print the label from eBay. The difference in that money is your money. Now, eBay does charge you 10% in fees on shipping. So 10% of the money would be taken by eBay. The buyer is paying the counter price. If they walked into the post office to buy that label, they're paying that price. You get a discount. Typically, eBay's taking 10%. That should leave you 15 to 20% of the shipping to pay for your supplies. So that money is your money. Some people refund. I do not recommend that. They saw what they were going to pay for shipping. They were given a price. They paid it. Unless it's a significant amount of money, like $20+, I would not refund that money at all. Lorraine wants to know, what do you do if you're a one-woman show and you're going to Europe for 2 weeks?
You can vacation mode or away mode. You can set it to where your store is completely closed, or you can set it to where you're still selling, but it says you're not going to ship until you get back, basically. So, if you want to just not worry about it at all, just shut put it as you're not selling while you're away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put it on vacation mode. In fact, I've gone on vacation before and I've done extended shipping, but because I got shipping policies, the problem with shipping policies is you got to go into each policy and change the handling time.
Do not do shipping policies.
So I'm going to be gone for a week and a half. I'm going up to the reseller camp up in Florida. So I'm just going to put my store on vacation.
Yeah, I just got back. I think I was gone for like 9 days or something like that. And I put everything on time away mode. I still did the 10-day, or I think it was like 11-day handling time. You can bulk edit that also, so you don't have to go through each individual listing. Make sure you don't send offers prior to putting that on if you don't shut down your store, because if you send an offer 2 days prior, it's still going to be under your old shipping. If it's 2 days, it means it's going to go late. And then I have an automated message. They give you an opportunity to put an automated message on there. I typed in, just letting you know I am away. It's going to take 10 days, and I plan to ship on, and then I put the day I was going to ship when I got back, which was like May 21st or 22nd or whatever. So I did that, and then that was really, but I kept my store on. You can't turn it off, like you said, but I kept mine on. It worked out well. I got like 2 to 3 sales a day.
Yeah, and I probably would do the same. Julian just said, I am lucky I'm not a one-woman show, and I went away for 9 days and left my husband at home, and my eBay business ran as usual. with me putting drafts up from wherever I was, and he shipped everything. For our camp that we're doing, we're only going to be gone 3 days. So I actually am probably not even going to have to, I might have to make it 2-day or 3-day. But I'm not going to have to change my handling. Tennessee camp will probably be gone a little bit longer. But I think I'm just going to go with extended handling. Julian, with extended handling, you can't do the auto message though, huh? I'd have to do vacation mode, right?
Yeah, the only way that I know that you can do it, because when you go to time away mode, it gives you the option to go ahead and put the message in there.
Yeah, I guess I'll just like every night send buyers a message and make sure it's okay, and if not, cancel it. Colleen wants to know, are a lot of buyers sending lowball offers? I had a seller tell me the best offer in his listing is what eBay put in. He said he doesn't put, so I think she's saying the seller said that eBay turned on best offer for them. And that he doesn't put best. I've heard of people telling me eBay added best offer to their listing before. I
can say for a fact it does, because Sonia started her own little store just as like a second store, and it was turning it on all the time for, I think it does it more to new sellers, because it doesn't do it to me at all anymore. But I saw with my own eyes with her store, it was like, we decided with that store it was going to be no offers. We just wanted just some little toys for sale, just to build a second store, and it would turn it on. Like there would be offers on everything. So it can happen. I don't know if they only do it on new sellers, but I've seen it with my own eyes. So yeah, I don't know why eBay decides to turn it on for you. And she would even get a message. If Sonia was here, she could tell. She would get a message saying that they turned it on for her. It was weird.
I've never seen where eBay's actually turned on best offers. When I first started reselling, I did have best offers turned on, and that was basically to try to get sales and boost all that up. Now, I don't turn on best offers. Basically, it is what it is, and the buyer will reach out, and if they want to offer, basically, will you accept this? In fact, I just had one sell yesterday. And I countered and gave him an offer for X amount, and he went and bought it. So I find that's working out best for me rather than sitting there constantly answering best offers. It takes too much time.
Yeah, I'm sure it does have. It's never had. If it has happened to me, I haven't called it. Because I think I have best offers all on. For sure.
Richard, it takes 2 seconds to hit a button. That's all I'm going to say. It takes 2 seconds. Does not take a lot of time.
I have a regular job. I work during the day.
Yeah, but you know you have your phone. You're messaging me from work. You can hit like decline.
You know you're on the Instagram and the TikTok.
You're on. He's not on Instagram. He's on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I always, like, you're always going to get lowball offers. People are going to try. If they are too low, I do not hesitate hitting decline. I do not care. If you send me a crappy offer, I'm declining it. If you send me 3 crappy offers in a row, you're blocked, and you're not sending me a 4th or a 5th. Yep. Sorry. Like, if you don't get the point of my first 2 declines and come up to a reasonable offer, I block. And I've had people message me, I was going to pay full price and you block. Well, go buy it somewhere else, because I'm done with you. I just, and I don't like, and I give them the like 3 chances, but you come at me with 3 that are less than 50% of my item cost, I'm blocking you. And if it's 50%, like right at it, I'll counter like $1 less than I'm asking, so they get the point that they need to come up some. And it takes 2 seconds. I think you will get more. Some of those 50% end up coming up to like 80%, and I make a sale though. So the 50% and higher, I will counter them. And it depends on how old the item is. Like if I've had it 2 years, I might take their 50% and be like, okay, I've had no interest in this for 2 years. Thanks. You know? So, the lowball offers do come. I think I blocked 2 people in the last 2 weeks though that annoyed me. And I'm like, nope, not sending me any more offers. You know, and like my returns that I have a bunch open, some of them, like I had a purse coming back, $125 purse, brand new with tags, measurements with a tape measure were in the listing, and they said it was too big. I'm taking it back, but they are not going to buy anything else from me, because if they can't look at a listing and see tape measure pictures and send it back, then I don't want them buying from me, so I will, like, on the returns, if they're for ridiculous reasons, I block them from buying too, now, like the Harley watch where it was my fault, that guy, that's on me. I'm not going to block people that have reasonable return requests, but people that have ridiculous ones, I'm like, nope, I'm good. Kathy Wilson, what advice and what platform would you recommend for someone who's new to reselling?
I recommend eBay because that's the main one I use and about the one I know a lot about. So I recommend eBay, and just don't hesitate. I think Julian already said it. Just list, just get to it. Start doing it and list. And we're talking about stuff that can happen, returns, and that's why I said there's a lot of negative stuff that can happen, but there's a lot of really positive stuff that can happen too. So, and the majority of it will be positive, but you got to start building. You have to start building your store now. Like, you have to start building your feedback. You have to start building your everything. And the more you put it off, the longer it's going to take for that all to build up. So jump in, like Julian said, jump in and do it.
I only sell on eBay, but I do know other platforms. They more or less target like certain types of items like Mercari, even though you can sell anything on there. But a lot of people, when they're looking for a certain niche type item, they tend to hit those certain platforms when they're buying. So I would just research to figure out what type of items are you going to sell and what you think the best platform would be.
Yeah, I agree. I only sell basically on eBay, and we also have a little Etsy store. But I will tell you this: when we started the Etsy store for the little merch thing, Etsy blew my mind on how hard it was. It seemed I was like, "What is this? This is the most difficult."
Pain in the butt.
It was so hard. I actually gave up. I said, "Kayla, if you don't, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't figure it out. This is dumb." And she was like, "No, I'll get it." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So she did, and she did an excellent job. But like, eBay was far easier than that for some reason for me. Like, and eBay is just, there's a lot of good videos out there, and I recommend that just because you have the biggest audience, and really things do sell very well on there.
Yeah, I'm a big for eBay too. And like, as far as ease, like, it depends on what you're selling. Richard had a good point, because like, if you're doing clothing and shoes and stuff, I would say Poshmark, because you don't have to worry about the shipping. They give you a label, it covers anything up to 5 pounds. The fees are higher, they're 20%. But I would recommend either eBay or Poshmark. I've been having issues with Facebook Marketplace. Like, we're trying to list on it and it keeps kicking it back out. So it's been more annoying than not lately. It's a glitch that is there like every day for half of the items that we're trying to list. So Facebook shipping has been getting on my nerves lately. But I would say eBay. James Steiner, are any of you guys selling on Mercari?
Not anymore. I did for a very short time.
Never have. Probably never will.
No, I'm not anymore. I used to. I did all right, but I don't. I just don't have the time to cross post right now.
And I have a video about Mercari and why I don't sell on Mercari. And basically, they accused me of selling counterfeit, couldn't tell me what items they were, froze my funds, kept my money for almost a month. And then they said they were sorry a month later, gave me my account back, and I've never used it, and I do not want to. So I can, but I will not.
Me either.
And I get people reaching out to me pretty frequently from that video telling me they're in the same exact situation that I was in. Somebody that's been messaging me the last week, Mercari's holding $600 of their funds. So
that's not okay.
No. Look, Leroy's saying Jimmy knows everything.
I did. I helped him figure out how to work a $800 scanner thing. That was pretty cool. That was on.
That's awesome, though. Wendy, listen, this has been happening to me. I had to message someone. I'm getting ready to have a cancel a sale because of this. You can run. There are checkers. I ran it once. I probably should run it again. I don't know if anybody else has been having this, but I have had multiple double listed items that sold and then I don't have the item here recently. And I've seen a lot of talk about that as well. So there, if you Google, there's like a double listed, it's a checker. You just put your eBay store in and it'll like run all your titles and tell you if there's doubles. So you can do that. Have you guys been having that? I know it's happening to me.
I've never had it happen, but I'll tell you what, that is the stuff of reseller nightmares.
Yeah.
But I
have one now, and it's a rare map. Like nobody else has it for sale, so I can't go buy it from someone else and ship it. Like I had to message them and be like, look, it got double listed. I don't have it. You know, it sucks.
I've never had the problem where double listing. I've actually listed multi-quantity items and wasn't very careful in the quantity, and it came back and bit me.
I think I had it once or twice, but more importantly, I'm going to go run the checker thing though after I'm done this, right?
Yeah, there's a checker thing.
I didn't know about that.
Put your store number in. When it was happening a lot, that's how I found out about that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you how many is next week because I'll run it.
This is a good question from Sheila. She's watching over on Facebook. How do you all handle the emotional roller coaster of reselling? I try not to let my sales dictate my daily mood, but I find that it does.
I mean, I crack a lot of jokes. That's all I do. I mean, I'm all about joking around and laugh. I'll tell my wife anytime I have a slow day, I'm like, gotta go find a job. And she'd be like, shut up. No, I mean, honestly, though, pedal to the metal, list, sell. And you can end up like, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I had such a good fourth quarter last year that I don't have to worry this year at all. Like, that's how good it was. So, I mean, pedal to the metal, sell. And get to that point where the worry is so far behind you. And and you've done so well that there's not a lot of worry anymore. I know that Kat knows what I'm talking about. But
yeah,
you can get to that point, and that's why I say sell through it. I always say sell through it.
As far as me, because I'm part-time, I don't let the slow sales get to me. I mean, it's nice when you have good sales, and it's kind of like makes your day. But my sales are down, and I don't let it get to me because it's not my regular job. If it's your regular job, you need to figure out, okay, if I got slow sales, how am I going to do it? Like Jimmy says, list, and that's a good thing. When your sales are slow, that's a good time because you're not spending the time packing and shipping the items. You can actually be listing more items.
Yeah, 100% is that. It is tough, though, because in the beginning, like the first probably year, I didn't learn that lesson. I'd be like, man, I'm having a slow day. This is a terrible day. And then I would mope on it and I wouldn't list anything. I'd be staring at like trying to figure it out. And then finally what Jimmy said, like, I don't really pay too terribly much. I mean, like, I know if I have a downward trend for a week, what's going on. If I have like slow sales for 3 days, that doesn't even touch my mood anymore because I'm just still going to list. And kind of what Richard just said, that's actually, I'm going to have a lot more good days coming up because if I have a whole bunch of fast days and I sell 20 items or 15 items, it's a lot more packing that I have to do that I don't list as much. So when I don't pack as much, I can list more, and then usually that kind of equals out. But everybody loves your sell through it, and I also like that too. So I might
sell through it. Make a sticker, Jimmy. Sell
make
through
a
it.
Sticker. I'll buy one.
Make a sticker.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a sticker.
I'm pretty good about not letting it. And like Julian and I were talking about this, YouTube has the same roller coaster that eBay does. So it's really hard. Like you're like up, down. Like you're seriously on a roller coaster. So and then as you're coming down. Like I said, I know like right now I'm at 3 days of low sales, like way below my average. And I just have to look at the week and say, okay, my week is still good. My month is phenomenal. Let it go, Kat. And I still have to tell myself it's not automatic for me to not let it get to me. I have to be like, okay, like it's okay. The same thing for us with YouTube, like views are going to go up. They're going to go down. They're going to go like, it's just what they do, it's just what they do. So I think like I would look at the longer picture, like look at the week, and if the week's slow, look at the month, and hopefully the month isn't. But I am definitely spurred, like Richard said, if my sales are low, I'm going to be listing more because I want to make them happen, and listing will make them happen. So I think you've got to just kind of push through it and just list and try not to let it get some days it's still like, if I had like a $0 day, I would be bummed. I'm not going to lie. I would be like, I have 4,000 friggin' things listed and nobody wants one of them. I would be bummed. I'm not going to lie, but so it's probably going to happen sometimes, but just try and push through it. Raining Retro, North Carolina. What have you sold in the past that you don't sell anymore?
I don't know. I mean, I don't sell a lot of clothes anymore. So I'll still sell clothes, but not a lot. Like when I first started, I thought I was going to be a clothes seller. And I have backed.
I think everybody starts with clothes. Not everybody, but I bet like 90% of people start with clothes.
Yeah. So I'll still look for rare vintage T-shirts and stuff like that. But for the most part, I stay away from clothes now.
As far as me, I don't think there's anything that I probably wouldn't sell. If I can make a profit on it, unless it's an item that it's just going to be a real pain to ship, I might tend to stay away from stuff like that. But no, I don't think there's anything in my past that I've sold that I wouldn't sell today.
Yeah, when I first started, it was 100%. I would go to the clothing rack first, and I still have 2 closets full of clothing, and they still sell periodically. Like I'll get yesterday I sold a pearl snap shirt that was one of my year ones I've had for about a year. But I don't even look at the vintage shirts. Like, I mean, obviously there's a whole bunch, obviously, or I look at yard sales more for that. But I only go towards like the jeans and jackets now and that's like my last desperate stop that I need something at a thrift store. So mine would be that's shoes. I still pick up a lot of shoes because we have really good shoes in my area, and hats because I'm obsessed with hats.
For me, it's probably the vintage perfumes just because eBay's kind of cracked down on it. So I typically don't even look at them anymore unless they're like new old stock, because then you can still sell them if they're new bottles. That's one of the big things for me that I don't sell anymore. And I don't really look at like the VCR DVD combos after a couple of returns on them. Ones that were tested, I don't really look at those anymore. And I used to look at those quite a bit, but I've kind of gotten away from that. Krista's Antiques and Collectibles. I think this is kind of a loaded question, and I've heard different opinions on it. So do you think vacation mode hurts your sales?
It does a little bit. So the way I understand away mode now, it will automatically it automatically changes your handling time, right? So that day, so the first couple days is when it affects it the most, but that handling time now reduces as you're getting closer to being back to returning home. So I really like that, and because of that, it doesn't affect it as much as it used to when you had to change your handling time, and the only way you had to manually change it back if you wanted to go day by day by day. So it can, but what I recommend is I'll run a big sale when I'm on vacation. I'll do 25% off on items that I don't care, that I'm ready to move anyways. So I'll run a big sale while I'm on away mode as well.
I've heard a lot of resellers say it does kind of like slow the sales down. It takes a while to build them back up again, get the sales going. I don't know because I've never put my store in vacation mode. So this is going to be the first time for me, and I'll see what happens.
I've done it. I go on like 2 to 3 vacations a year, and usually that's for about a week or week and a half. And I would say it takes me, I don't send any type of offer 3 days prior, and then I let them build throughout. And then when I get back, I send over 100, 200 or whatever is pending. I do that right when I turn everything back on. And then I usually try to list 20 to 30 items my first day back. And that has kind of worked, but it is slow for like 3 days, 4 days. But as long as you do something when you get back and you don't your mind's in vacation mode and you don't get back to work for a week, then yeah, you should be pretty good. So I haven't, it does drop it obviously when you're gone. like I can tell you 100% it drops it. For me, it drops at 100% when I'm gone. So, I usually sell 10 a day and I only sell like 2 when I'm gone. And even when I get back, it's usually like a 3-day lag there. Then it's back to normal. In my experience.
I'm gonna defer to him since he just did it, because I have never put my store on vacation mode. Because I typically make it around like a Friday to Monday, my short vacations, or my husband stays home and keeps shipping for me. So, and I'm just gonna do the extended handling time, like I said, for my upcoming camp.
A little tip for that is set aside some of your better, like my last time I went on vacation mode, I put a stack of Nintendo 64 games on my desk to list when I got back. And the day I got back, I listed that entire stack of games, and the next day I had $600 in sales. So that's a little tip. Like if you,
so you're saying stash the good stuff.
That's almost exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Miss Ann said she's got a couple of late shipments in the last week, and I know about this. She did have an accident, and she reached out to the buyer. They were all right with it. Should I let eBay know I'm moving out shipping dates? I'm going to grab this and say, unfortunately, eBay doesn't care, and I'm sorry to say that, but your late shipments are going to ding you whether your buyer's okay with it or not. So whatever you promise, I know eBay. The only exceptions to that is like natural disasters. So like when hurricanes come, if you're in that area, they will like kind of waive the dings for you. Or like I think when California had fires, stuff like that they do. But as far as like a personal accident, they're not going to take those dings off for you. I don't know if anybody in the chat can say something different, but I don't believe they're going to take them off for you. So hopefully you had enough sales to where the couple of late shipments aren't going to put you to below standard. I definitely, like, if you're not getting to ship every day, would definitely bulk edit and put, 3-day handling time or 5, whatever you needed to make sure you could get it done. But those that happened, like that they already bought before your accident, are probably going to be dings to your account. I don't know if anybody has anything they want to add to that.
I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I'd extend out the shipping handling time. I mean, I do 2-3 day shipping, and that's just because like we had snow one day and I just did not want to go out because I was watching my grandson, and I didn't want to go out in the snow. So I waited till the next day. Things like that come up. So I know a lot of people do 1 day shipping the same, and I did that at first, but that was just too much because if something comes up and like this case here, you want that little bit of extra time. And a lot of times it doesn't hurt the sales all that much if you extend your shipping.
And I think it's like 2%. I want to say that that they allow you as 2%. So if you had 100 sales and 2 went out late, you would still be okay. But if you only had 100 sales and it went to 3, or if you only had 50 sales in the last, I think they do it monthly. I'm not sure. But it's that percent is what gets you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Krista. Krista said she loves everybody's personality on the panel.
I'm all about that.
We appreciate you. Colleen wants to know, what is your criteria for doing an auction or buy it now on eBay?
Everything I have is buy it now. So basically it's everything. I'll run an auction. I'll do a test. So like if I have something I think is very valuable, I'll price it really high. Look at offers. I might not even accept them, but see what kind of offers I get. Then I'll consider running an auction starting around the lowest offer. And then that's about the only time I'll really run an auction. I see, because we all look at pricing for pricing our items, and we see a lot of people lose money on auctions. I know we've all seen it, right? When you're pricing, you're like, this guy lost a lot of money on that auction. So I don't do auctions.
Everything I do is buy it now. I've never done an auction. It's probably something I might actually dabble in, like Julian and Jimmy were saying, junk drawer lots, things like that, just to move inventory out. I might actually experiment with that, but I've never done an auction.
Yeah, I would say that I used to a lot, and I'm probably going to get more into it. I don't like auction. I'm doing a lot of golf club stuff now, so I don't auction a lot of golf club stuff. But I have like a reel. It is a pen It's a really nice reel, and I have one of the best ones in like the condition that it's in, and I have the original box. So, and there's like no other ones for sale. They're all sold, and there's some lower ones in worse conditions that are like selling for $100, whatever. So I'm gonna start mine at like 125 auction, and I guarantee you that thing's gonna get, because it's very rare that it has that original box paperwork, and it still has the little tool inside of it. So with something like that, I'm probably gonna auction it off. Could I ask like $400 for it? I don't know, maybe, and then just pick, what offer I want to take, or I'm already in the good. Do I want to auction it and just see how high it goes? And the lowest I want to take for it's 125 though. So if I get one bid, I'm very happy with that price.
Yeah, and I think like I've been doing like several auctions lately. I did my 2 roundels that went up over $1,500. I paid $1 each. I started them at 100 because I was okay with that. And that's where, so for me to do an auction, it needs to be a rare item and it needs to be popular. So I just did my 2 Harley watches and my Harley pocket watch. And 2 only got 1 bid, but I started them at $100 and I paid less than 30. So I'm totally fine with that $100 sale. Plus I get that quick in 7 days, it's done and I've got my $100, and it could have went for more. I had like 11 watchers. I expected it to go for more. And the other one went for like 102.50 or something. But again, I was only $30 in. So I would say you need the demand for it, and it needs to be rare. Like Julian saying, his is the only one in that condition, and Penn is a very popular reel. So when you've got like really good name brands, but like clothing, unless it's like a rare vintage concert t-shirt, I would never put clothing on buy it now. And if there's a bunch, or on auction, if there's a bunch of your item listed, that should indicate you should not do an auction, because society today, because of Amazon, wants the item and they want it now. So if your item's on auction, they're probably, and there are like 5 buy it nows, they're going to go buy it now, even if they have to pay a little bit more, because they don't want to wait. So you need it rare and popular. That's what you should auction. Miss Deborah, I don't know if any of us do books. I would say I would almost reach out to Katie Reeds, because she does a lot of books. Reach out to somebody that's more experienced. Katie's very responsive on Instagram, and she also has her YouTube channel here. I would reach out to her. I do some books, and I do all mine on eBay. But I would reach out to somebody who's specializing in books is what I would recommend. Does anybody have any other on that?
No, I don't sell a lot of books, so I couldn't help.
I just listed a bunch today, but that's not the norm for me.
I don't sell a lot of books. Every once in a while, I'll find one at Thrift or something like that. But yeah, know nothing about them.
I would talk to Katie Reeds.
Talk to Katie Reeds. That's our advice. Larry Wayout sent a $10 super chat and said, please check out Jimmy and Richard's YouTube channels. Lots of great information. Mark has been dropping the links in the chat, OG and Z. So Mark, thank you. Richard is normally helping drop the links. Tonight, Mark is on his own because Richard is behind the camera tonight. So Mark, thank you for doing that for us. And yeah, definitely subscribe to these guys. I met both of them in Cincinnati last year. Really good guys. And Jimmy and I went, and Sonia, his wife, went thrifting. We went thrifting one day together. It was fun.
I got the honor of seeing the master at work.
It was we found some good stuff that day. We really found some good stuff. All right, here is your, and I met Larry in Cincinnati too. I don't know if I said that.
He's in one of my YouTube videos. Go back to Cincinnati stuff. He's in one of them.
Yes. All right, here's your dolphin, Larry.
Super chat.
Heidi Hose. I like that name. On items that can ship first class and are over a certain amount of dollars, do you ship priority for the included insurance?
Yes, matter of fact, yesterday I sold that How to Train Your Dragon. That was, I sold it for like 110, and I went ahead and did the priority. I went ahead and did priority on it instead of the first class that it could have gone. Since it was literally only a couple of dollars more, and I got the insurance. So
Yeah, that's what I used to do, but found out, and I didn't realize this, that actually on first class, you can't add insurance onto first class.
yeah,
So yeah, I guess it depends on the item. If you're talking a few $100 item, I would probably go ahead and ship it priority. But if it was like under $100, I'd probably still go ahead and ship it first class and just add insurance onto it.
Yeah, it all depends on, usually I don't add the insurance to the first class. I just bump it to priority.
Yep.
It's, because usually, to be honest with you, it depends where it's going now. It really, first class, it's only a couple dollars cheaper. And like, you
That's
know,
why
like,
the weight
like-
is a big
Yeah,
factor.
it's gotten
yeah, your weight's a
expensive.
huge thing when it comes to first class.
If it's 3 ounces, you can save a lot. But if it's
Sure.
14 ounces, it's a couple.
It's the
bucks.
same price.
Yeah, like how heavy
Yeah.
was your dragon? Like
It
10
was
ounces?
like 12 over 12.
Yeah, then that would
Yeah.
be bumped straight to priority for me.
Yeah, for me, I charge the buyer. If it's over $50 item, I put my calculated on priority at less than £1. And so my buyer pays to cover the insurance up to $100. And if the item is over $100, I pay for the added insurance to insure it up to the value of the item. Only because over the years, I've had a few things lost. And if you insure it to that full amount, you will get that full amount back if it is lost. Southern Mermaid, who Julian and I had the pleasure of meeting at Salvation Army in Myrtle Beach when we did our little meetup. She wants to know if you ever find Gullah Sweetwater baskets at Thrift.
I never have. I've answered her in the chat, and she said she never has either, but other people have in our area. So we live like super close to one another.
Listen, I have to tell you guys, and I'm going to just tell everybody, and I might cause a craze, but whatever. So I should have stopped. So Sweetgrass baskets there in Charleston, like on that strip where there's all of the like little huts. I wanted to stop and I didn't, because like I just left Myrtle Beach and I was like in a, go home mode. I researched some Sweetgrass baskets sell for over $300.
Wow.
So honestly, if you're driving by those, I would almost stop at the baskets new made and see what the prices are. Because if you could look at the styles that are selling for $200 and buy them for $100 from that roadside stand, and the keywords were Charleston Sweetgrass baskets. That's what people were using. So if you happen to drive by Charleston in those roadside stands, I would stop and see, because I'd be interested to know, like, if they're, priced that high at those roadside stands. I was like kicking myself so bad I almost turned around because I'd see one and another and then they were all gone. I'm like, I should have stopped.
In the open air market in Charleston, there's like this place down there it's not the roadside stands. It's more of a condensed area. They are very expensive in there. I don't know how much they would be I know roadside stands you're talking about on the way down.
Yeah, they're like
southbound.
20 of them, like every
little
30
huts.
feet.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would be interested. Like if somebody goes to those, please tell me. All right, I'm going to grab one more question and then we're going to go.
All right.
Let's see who it is. Let's see. I made it till hole 840. We have over 500 people in the chat.
Wow.
Thank you all for being here. I do not make it. I have been not making it through the first hour of questions. Just a little FYI to get your questions in early if you want them to get answered, because we've got so many people in the chat. We just cannot get through them anymore. Now I'm having to scroll forever to find the last one.
There's another one.
Dalton is inside. I'm not going to count this as the last question. I'll grab one more. Dalton is inside and was taking a nap when I came out. Him and Daddy went to the tool store today. They went to Home Depot and went shopping, and Brad's itching to make stuff, and his shed won't be here for probably another 2 months. So it was supposed to be ready by now, and they said because of labor and supply issues, it's going to be another month to 2. So he's frustrated with it because he was really motivated to start his woodworking business back up, but he doesn't have a shop to start it in. So they went today, and I think they bought a compressor, but Brad, he put screen around my porch on my shed because the chickens kept roosting there and pooping on my porch. So while I was gone, now my whole porch on my shed is screened in. That was Brad's project while I was gone. He screened in the whole porch. Aha. Okay, so first of all, Greg, Rocky Mountain Resale does the shot calling for Yvonne and I the first Wednesday of every month for our auction. He is on Instagram and YouTube as well. He helps, like Richard helps me in this chat. Greg helps us in Yvonne's chat during our live sale. So I want to thank him, and you guys check him out too. He wants to know if any of us have any experience or knowledge about vintage marbles or anything specific to look for.
What's up, Greg? I don't, man. I got to meet Greg. He's a cool guy. I don't, man. I wish I did, because I've heard about it like you. I've heard about it, but I do not know what to look for.
I'm the same. I wouldn't even know what to look for. I've seen other resellers basically sell these things, and I'm just all like, don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I bought some in a auction before. It was a lot of marbles in a jar, and I was like, that's cool. They went super high, because I was like, there's got to be something in here that I don't see. And I did this like long search on it, and I can still tell you that I know nothing about them.
Yeah, I don't either. I know Kevin got a bunch, Commonwealth Picker, and I think like his like uranium ones that glow, those sold high.
That's good advice right there, though.
But other than that, I have absolutely no idea. All right, guys. So tomorrow night, Primetime Treasure Hunters, subscribe and turn his notifications on. I will be on there on a thrift battle tomorrow night. I will be on Katie Reed's with Prison. I think Prison Profits on it. I don't know, but definitely on Katie Reed's on Sunday. What else am I doing? The live eBay member store reviews are Monday for my members. And a lot. I'm having, for just getting back, I have a lot going on. And then my first Nurse Flipper eBay camp retreat, like seminar, is a week from Friday. So that's kind of terrifying. Richard will be there with me in Florida. He's coming. So Richard will be speaking, and George the Antique Nomad will also be with us, and he will be speaking. And then I have one in Tennessee in Sevierville, May 15th. So that will be fun too. So next week, we have Susan from Vintage Vagabond Vins. I saw her in the chat earlier. Susan will be on with us. And Clara, the co-founder of List Perfectly. Nice. So if you want to get Clara with some questions, she is open to anything you want to ask her. And she is the top of List Perfectly. Cool. Anything you want to ask her, she will be open to it. And she was a reseller for a long time. So I want you guys to see she does what we do. So we will see you next Tuesday. I will have a What Sold video out. I'm going to let everybody else say goodbyes. And if you guys do your videos, like if you know you've got videos coming out, Jimmy, or if you're on Eric's Live or whatever, let them know that too.
Yeah, every Tuesday I'm on OBX Finds. He made a second channel. OBX Flips and OBX Finds, or I don't remember the second channel name. Sorry. But we're on there every Tuesday all day. We just kind of hang out, list, talk about eBay stuff. So it's kind of like working and listing and just hanging out. And we're on there for like 4 or 5 hours every Tuesday during the day. He starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then I'm working on YouTube videos more often again. I'm going to try to put out at least one a week, especially with yard sale season come back. I'm going to do a lot more of the sourcing and yard sale videos. So, and estate sales. There'll be a lot more estate sale videos coming up. I got a good one coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I've already seen the pictures. It's going to be a good one. So,
Yay.
I'm on TikTok and Instagram too. OldSchoolFlips.
Perfect. Here is Richard.
Okay. I do have a YouTube channel. It's Otnick Drop Flips. I do have a video coming out. It'll probably be tomorrow. And it will be weekly What Sold. I will probably be putting out another video later on in the week announcing I'm going to go ahead and do a giveaway, just to go ahead and tell everybody I appreciate that they subscribe to my channel and stuff. So look forward to that. That's all I have.
Perfect. I keep turning my camera off. All right, guys. So we will see you next Tuesday, same time every Tuesday. It's Tennessee camp is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I'm gonna come live from the Tennessee house with all my people. I've missed one Tuesday in 2 years, and I was like deathly ill. So I do not miss a Tuesday, no matter where I'm at. I come on. So we will see you next Tuesday, and every Tuesday we will see you then. And I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.